to start off, I think most of us here already have a fair knowledge on what a herbarium is. I see some curators of the different herbaria from the UP system. Okay, so basically in the UP Baguio, it started around mid-90s. So the collection is still building up. So we're I think around, I don't have an official count, but the database itself now is currently around 2,000 specimens. Okay. So I think we've been hearing about database and the name database quite this morning. This morning the presentations here have been talking about the database and what does it really mean in an IT perspective. So I just need to define this on a computer science IT point of view, wherein when you say database, it's actually an electronic filing system. So that's where you store your information. And there is another component which is called the database management system that controls the access to that data or that database. Okay, so of course I have to mention this is a computer science field. Okay, so the components of a database system also needs a database application for which the users can interact. So there are some motivations, of course, of creating the database system. So we did this because, first of all, we wanted to make it accessible to people who are not able to come to the herbarium. Okay, so there are some, let's say, some researchers or students who like to know what are the specimens in our data or in our herbarium in UP Baguio, so they can access it online using the tool or the system. Okay, so that's the first motivation. The second motivation, of course, is preservation. So it is not a physical preservation of the actual collection, but a preservation in a form that is digitized or a digital way to preserve the data that we already have. So how do we actually preserve it? By using, of course, photographs or the photos of the actual specimen. So this is actually not the first herbarium database. So there's a previous version of it, the version 1 of the herbarium database, and it was called the Northern Luzon Herbarium Database, or NLUH. And it was done also by my instructor, actually, in UP Baguio, Mr. Atty. Sampongan. And it also was, it was already online once. Once because for some time around a few years back, the system was actually infiltrated, or otherwise known as hacked. It was hacked. So, of course, we had to make improvements on that. So this is what the NLUH database looked like, the first version. So this is the front page. So you can see here, there's a basic functions like view and advanced search. Okay, so this is just the front page. So when you type or when you click on the view button here, you will see this is the retrieved data, or in the first, this is alphabetical by family. Okay, alphabetical by family. Okay, so it will give you the first, I think, 15 or 20 lists of data or of specimen. So as you can see here, there is also another option. When you press on the advanced search, you'll be given this page where you have to input, let's say, whatever filter you want. It's family, and then type on one family. Okay, then press search. Okay, so this is the old database system. So we made some improvements on this system. So of course, we wanted to make it more user-friendly by having lesser button clicks when you do the searching. Also, we wanted to create an immediate view of the brand. So previously, nakikita nyo naman, di ba, walang picture yung retrieve na data. So immediately, we wanted to create a system na pag pasok mo pa lang dun sa system, nakikita mo na yung picture. At least a thumbnail of the picture. So I have to mention this. So medyo technical siya, pero I just want to give a layman's overview of what architecture we used for the system. Okay, so there are 3 layers. Actually, the first one is the front end, or the user interface. The second one is the application logic layer, which is the web server. Okay, and then the third one is the data access layer, or the database management system. So it may look simple, but it's actually not. But and I have to mention the technologies we use. So these are actually free. Okay, so these are free software. We don't use the one with a licensed software. So here in the front end, we use the HTML, PHP, web server use Apache, Tomcat, which is again free, and also MySQL. So here in the user interface, what happens here is this is what we see as the users, the front end. So we put whatever filter we want to search, and then the application layer, or the one will process whatever input you have in your user interface, and then translate it into a language that is understandable by the database management system. And then the database management system is the one that will get the data from the database. Then once it gets the result, it goes back to the application layer, and then presents it back to the user interface. So that's the simple interaction between these layers. Okay, so what is the actual, or how does it actually look? Okay, the first, or in the back end, which is the database. This is the data that we store in the database itself. Okay, so we have the family, the scientific name, common name, locality, which is where it was collected. Again, the date collected, collector, and access number, whatever number you use for the herbarium, and then the picture. So the picture here is not the actual file of the picture, but it's just the link to where the directory of the picture is. Okay, so it actually just saves time in retrieving the data. So that is the reason for that. Okay, so the front end itself, actually, of course, these are some computer languages we use for creating the system, or the front end of the system. Okay, so this is the newer version. So unfortunately, we don't have time to make the actual demonstration, but I've put in some screenshots of the second version. Okay, so this is the front page, where there's an option for an administrator and a visitor. So the administrator actually is the one who can add, edit, update whatever data you have in your database. Of course, visitor is limited to only viewing the data. Okay? So if I click on the visitor button here, okay, it will give me again the list of the specimens and a thumbnail of the specimen itself. So this is alphabetical by family again. Okay, so what's different with the old version is that you have a search button here, which is actually on the fly searching. When you say on the fly is when I type in letter, let's say, when I try to type in MANG, let's say manga. If you want to search manga, it will immediately retrieve manga on the fly. So you don't have to click any button at all. Okay? So you just type in whatever search string you want to search, and then it will retrieve immediately. Okay? So also you have another option for searching if you want to search specifically per collection, by date, by locality, and then you use this, the older type or the older version of searching. So you have to press a button. Okay, so that's the improvement, first improvement. Also, here you can see the number of entries that we have. So this is a partial of the specimen. So this is not a complete data yet because we're not finished putting in the specimen or all of the data, but it's around 2,000 entries already. Okay, so we put this around 10 specimens per page. So you can click on any button until it's actually hanggang 206 pages. Okay, so what about the admin part? So the admin part, of course, you need to log in. You need to have access to username and password. But once you log in, you will see these additional columns on the right. Okay, so at the right, you have your update button and your delete button. So you can actually update this information that we have here in this second column. And you can also add specimens if you want to add another data or another specimen. So again, this was what I was talking about a while ago. When you say type in manga, right, you can see manga and common name. Right? Also, you can see manga here in the common name, but it's a substring manga. So it will give you all that has a substring of your search or your search entry. Okay. So once you click on the view information, it will give you a bigger picture of the collection or of the specimen. So I guess that's it. So thank